All right, guys, welcome back to another one. Thank you for coming along with my project, EK9. So this is going to be the start of hopefully what ends up being a really good project for me. We're going to continue cleaning up the car, getting everything prepped, I guess, for springtime, since I'm on the East Coast and we kind of have a down season over winter. So today's a little nicer of a day. If you guys have been following me on my other stuff, you know I've been giving weather reports because it's been cold, it's been snowy, it's been everything else. So luckily today, I think the high is supposed to be like 40, so it should make for a good day for today. So for this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to start the process. Depending on how it goes, maybe I even finish the process. We'll see, but it's going to take some time, and we're going to start doing paint correction. So we're going to start running through. I have got a rack of products here. The whole goal, of course, with the paint correction is to fix the very, it really doesn't need much, honestly. I think it looks really good. It looks great from, 5-10 feet away. You never see anything. But I spent a lot of time in the garage. I spent a lot of time looking at the car and everything else. And the closer you get, the more you see the minor imperfections. So my whole goal is to fix the minor imperfections and just really make it look a little better, refresh it a little bit. I mean, it's a 25-year-old car, whoever the owner was that was before it, or however many owners it had before me, they really did do a good job taking care of it. So I'm gonna go through it. I want to fix some of the really minor, like, I guess kind of, we'll call them like swirl marks. I'll see if I can show you in the light. And just kind of the real minor paint blemishes that it has. It has a couple rock chips, so we're gonna go through. I found a cool product. I'm gonna try it out. We'll see how it goes. Supposedly, it just like magically makes rock chips disappear, which if that's the case, that's awesome. So we're gonna try that. That's on the way. Haven't quite got that in yet. It's the holiday season and Amazon is busy. But anyway. So we have that coming in. The other thing I don't have here either yet, but it is on the way, is going to be the ceramic coat, and then it's got like a top coat that goes on top of it. It's going to be by the same company that we used for the wheels. It's going to be the G-Technic. Let me see if I can get that in there for you. It wants to get me. There you go. See the G-Technic right there? So it's going to be kind of like this. It'll be a couple small bottles, you know how it goes. And it's going to be the regular ceramic coating, and then they have like a top coat for the ceramic coating. So I'll go through that. You know how you jump on Amazon, or not Amazon, but you know how you jump on YouTube. I mean, you do because you're watching me right now. But you know how you jump on YouTube on like a topic or something, and next thing you know, you've been like through 100 different videos and you've taken this deepest dive into whatever that topic happens to be. That's how it went with this. So as you can see, I got a couple polishers. I got a full size polisher and a micro polisher. I went with the Adams. There's a ton. Again, deep dive into everything. It depends on how much you want to spend. I found really good polishers that people liked from, I would say, like $80, give or take, up through, sorry if I mess up the name, but like the Rupes stuff, which is like $300, $400, $700, depending on what the combination is that you get. So I got something that is above the basic, but still kind of that beginner to maybe intermediate level. I'm sure if you're advanced and you've been doing this a ton and you get paid doing it and everything else, I'm sure you've got something that's more expensive. Or like even Adams makes a bigger version than this, like that's their pro version. This is more like their consumer version. So I figured it's better for me. Hopefully it'll keep me from doing any harm to the car. Take my time, do it slow. But on that deep dive, I was on like one of the YouTube channels. It was Pan the Organizer, if I remember correctly. I'll try and remember to drop the link down below. And I literally watched like 40 of his videos. Some of them are, you know, him working a product, and some of them are literally just a half an hour, 45 minutes of him talking about products. He picks one up, says, here's, this is what it is. Picks one up, here's what it is, here's what its use is. And honestly, it's great information. So I think he's in Canada or somewhere. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it'd be cool to meet him and get kind of some help. But anyways, so as you can see, I got a rack of products over here. On this side below me, I'm gonna try out this this Ryobi pressure washer. It's I mean, you'll see me like unbox it and everything, but it's literally like this big. Like there's nothing to it. So if I'm able to wash the car and do everything like that right here right in my like little garage space, that'd be incredible. So that's the goal. We'll see how that goes. And then over that, I was watching a couple others. There's another guy that I was watching that does all pressure washers and like everything that has to do with like this side of the detailing. And he literally pulls out each one of the pressure washers, shows you what, you know, the gallons per minute is and all of that stuff. He goes through the foam cannons, all the different like detailing stuff. So I ended up watching a bunch of his reviews. The Ryobi seems to do really good, so we're gonna try that. And I ended up with the foam cannon from Harbor Freight. So it was like, I think it was like 35 bucks. Like really a decent price. It's supposed to foam really good, so we'll see how it does. I'm hoping to get, you know how it is. You like spray it off the foam cannon. It's just like this super thick that just like sits on the car. I'm hoping that's what I get out of it. That's my whole goal, is just to like see it lay out like that, because it's, I don't know, it's gonna make me feel better. I don't know. But so I got a foam cannon from Harbor Freight. At the time, the Ryobi I just got from the hardware store. This one I got from Home Depot. It was like 99 bucks. Sometimes it's on sale. But then we have all of this. See all of this chaos right here. Again, if I mess up the names, I'm sorry, but they got Kokemi for the polishing. I got their little kit. It's the chemical and the pad, and they sell it as a group. And what I liked about these was, again, this was watching the other guy talking about each one of these products, everything else. So they paired it up. They pair the product with the pad. So the pad gives you the correct firmness, everything else while you're doing your paint correction. I'm gonna attempt to do what. See if it'll focus. This is just a micro cut, okay? So what my goal here is that I don't have to go through like multiple stages. Now, if it's real deep and like the swirl marks and everything else are bad, then I'm gonna have to go to the next thing more aggressive than this. This one's got like little bar graphs that tell you everything. It says the cut is, this is out of a 0 to 9. The cut is a 3, so pretty low on the scale. And then the gloss is all the way to a 9. So what I'm hoping is, you know, maybe after a couple passes that this is enough to get the really just, again, like the light stuff out. And like I said, it's paired with a pad. So this is pretty cool. I was kind of happy that I found like a all-in-one option, and I didn't have to like pick separate pads, pick different, cut and polishes and everything else. So I'm going to try that. We'll see how that goes. I've got, unrelated, but kind of related, I've got it's Carfident. That's cute. Okay. It's the Ultimate Plastic and Trim Restorer. Not quite the same thing, but I've got a couple pieces that, again, they're 25 years old and they just don't look black anymore. So this is like that back to black type of setup on this. So I got this off a good recommendation. So we're going to try this one on like the front windshield cowl. We're going to try that first before I buy a replacement. I might still buy a replacement. You know how that goes. But we'll try that first. If it restores it, makes it back to like a really nice factory black, then I'm done. even if I have to like redo that every 3 to 6 months. But I'll let you know that too, because I'll go on to it, and if that actually works, we'll put it on there. We'll see how long it lasts. And then as I do updates on the car and as I take the car out to places, ooh, that was good. As I take the car out to places, as it starts to wear off, I'll just let you guys know what the time frame is. It works really good. I enjoy products like that. So running down through, I've got a handful of the G-Technic type of chemicals. I've got this one. This one's a iron remover, which is wheel and paint, and this is part of the oh, I can't say it. I tried to say it last time too. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm like, it ain't working. So, so we're gonna do the decon on the car, and it's a multi-step process. I should have started in the thing. I got distracted because I couldn't say the word. I don't know. So we have a couple products from CarPro, a couple from G-Technic, and then chemical guys. I mean, I got a little bit of everything depending on what I needed. So this CarPro is kind of cool. I like the way the bottles look, but the product is definitely one of the more high-end products. I got a couple different things. I've got, this one's called Lift. So this one's a pre-wash ultra snow foam. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna see how this. We're trying to get that, you know, that heavy thick foam when we do that on the car. So we'll go with that first. After that, like I said, I have the iron remover. So we're gonna put that on there. That is to take out all of the like fallout, all of the just nastiness that you get depending on where you live. So we're gonna do that. And then we also have the descale. So this has a couple different things, but again, it helps remove hard water, helps remove tough dirt, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a 3-step process where I'm gonna wash it, get all the initial stuff off. I'm gonna do the iron and then the descaling. I did find a couple products where these go together, but I didn't find them early enough. So I ended up with separate. I found one that you should be able to stage them both together. So next time if I do it, I might, but I think I have enough product because when I ordered this stuff, I got like 2 bottles of each. So I don't know. I'll probably end up doing all my cars this way, just because. And then the other thing is that, so again, part of that whole deep dive and everything else is you have to use a specific like pH balance and everything else on the wash side of things and the chemicals that you're using to clean the car. So again, I took a huge deep dive. You guys can find that information. Again, I'll list the Pan the Organizer guy that I was listening to about that kind of stuff. And I watched hours. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of stuff on that. So anyways, that's all part of it. Now, the end goal of all of this is to get everything that's been built up on top of the clear coat, okay? So, and that's everything from the contaminants to any waxes, any polishes, anything else that's on it. So my whole goal with all these bottles and everything else is to get everything down to the raw clear. So I have paint and I have clear. Perfect. It's just the way it's supposed to be. And then at that point, then I can start running through with my polishers, and then I am only working on that clear, okay? So again, huge deep dive into doing all of this. That's that plan. So we're gonna go through the process. I'm gonna show you how it goes just cleaning it. We'll do a little unpacking of the Ryobi and hopefully be able to run that right here out of the garage space. That's the entire goal for this. We'll see how that goes. And we'll see what kind of results we get. So as I go along, I'll show you certain panels. If one panel's worse than the other, of course, I'll show you the before and after. And then we'll do a huge skip along, fast forward and everything else, because you guys don't want to watch me record this for a week while, you know, it takes me multiple days to do multiple panels. We'll see. we'll probably start with the hood, the nice big surface that's relatively flat and easy to work with first. We'll probably start there, do that, and then we'll see how the process comes out. So we'll go along. You guys let me know what you think. Drop those comments. If you have a better product, if you know something works great for you, drop it in the comments. Like I always say to you guys, I love your comments. I love your feedback and interaction. You know, as long as it's positive, you know what I mean. But like, it really makes a difference because, well, one, this is what I found on my research. For all I know, you've been doing this for 30 years and you've got something better. Hey, great. Drop that in the comments. Let everybody know. And then we can work with that. Maybe I'll use it and show you guys. Maybe, you know, everybody will go out and try it for themselves. Whatever. We love helping the community. I love you guys' support. Thank you for all of that. And I guess let's get at it. Let's get this car out of the garage. Let's start trying to see. I want the foam. You guys, I know. You know what I mean. But anyways, all right, let's get at it. And thanks, guys. guys, so that's going to be it for one panel, kinda. I think I'm going to work on it. I'll probably do, I don't know, it's hard. So it's a matter of how close to perfection I want to get. And the car for me is a driver. It's not a show car. It's not a trailered car or anything else. I'm going to drive this car. So it's kind of one of those things that's like, how far do I want to go? You guys can see the hood definitely looks so much better than it previously did. So one of the things that's funny is as I was doing it, I could actually start to see like the flake in the paint, which is cool. Like initially it's like, oh, hey, look, it's you know, a nice gloss black, right? When I first got the car, I had it cleaned, you know, did my detail, which was, you know, washing it really good. But then through this process, like as I went through and I polished multiple times, I started actually seeing like the gloss come up. And as I saw the gloss come up, I could see like the flake in the paint and the different colors of the flake, like the individual flake pieces, which I mean, that's huge for me. Like that's what I want. So I have to decide how far I want to go with it. The other thing is like my first couple passes, I'll probably keep them in the video just so you guys can make a ton of comments. I used way too much product. Like I was like, oh, okay, make, you know, my 4 or 5 little dots as I go around. Well, I was making my dots like big. And I was like, there was just so much product. And as I was working, like I wasn't really working the product off. So like then as I went, like I was like, oh, okay, like I've been working it a while. Let me stop, let me make sure, because I don't want to do too much, of course. And like I was having to like clean off all the extra like polishing compounds. So I was like, man, it's way too much. So I started putting like more like a pea-sized, you know, dab, and I was just doing 4 of those. And then I was starting to work a little bigger portion, which that worked out so much better. So then I kind of started working larger and larger pieces of the hood. At first I had it sectioned into like almost quarters, and that wasn't enough. So then I was like, oh, thirds. And then I was like, it's still like using that small amount of product, I was still like, it still was too much. So then I went to almost a half, you know, and the last one I did almost that whole center section of the hood between the 2 body lines. And that seemed to go a lot better. So I'll probably, again, I'll look at it. I'll put it out in the sun. I'll look at it and I'll see if I'm happy with it. If I'm not, I'll do the hood again until I'm happy. And then I have to decide also if the level of compound and the level of cut and polish is enough. I've got a couple really fine like marks still. So I would have to step to the next aggressive. And again, it's a daily driver. It's not a show car. So I have to make that decision. But let me flip you guys around. I'm gonna show you the hood real quick. And then what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna do a panel a day. So like during the week as I come home from work, I'm just gonna like jump in, do a panel, just, you know, do a panel for like an hour or so, you know, whatever it takes. And then work my way through it. So it'll probably take me about a week. My hope is that by the time I leave for Tokyo Auto Salon, that the car is pretty much done. You know, at least for this stage of things. But we'll see. I still have like literally every other panel to do on the car, so I've got plenty to go. But let me flip you guys around. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. You can see like in the reflection is really good. On camera, it doesn't necessarily pick up all the little imperfections. Let me see. You can kind of see my little smudge where I had my finger right here, but there's, let me see, I was showing you guys earlier and I was able to, yeah, you can see it right there, just barely. And it's, again, if you're back here and that's, you know, like less than 2 feet away, look, I can still reach the, you know, the where the little marks are. Yeah, 2 feet away, you can't see anything. The only thing is, like, as you get super, super close, that's when I start to pick up, like, the very, very minor things. So I have to do that once my paint chip setup comes in. I'm gonna go through these. I've got a couple little paint chips down in the front edge right here, the hood. So I'll go through those, clean those up, and it's funny because the more I look at it and the more I kind of, like, the closer I get to everything, the more, like, little things I keep finding, and I'm like, ah. So, like, initially when I ordered the paint chip thing, I was more concerned with my fender. And here, I'll flip you guys around again, sorry. I was more concerned with right here in my, there it is, right there in my fender. So there's a pretty good sized paint chip right there. You can see it compared to my nail. So there's a pretty good sized paint chip there. That's the one I really was concerned about. And then as I started doing the hood, I started seeing all these little tiny rock chips up here. And I was like, oh man, so now I'm gonna need to do those too. And I'm sure as I keep going through everything, like, I'll keep finding more and more, like, little minor things that I'm gonna have to do. So, but it's okay. I mean, that's, for me, it's the fun of having a project car. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll keep showing you. Right, guys, so like I was saying, each day I'm gonna try and do a little bit and kind of keep going. So I was driving today for work, and, you know, got nothing else to do while I'm driving but, you know, daydream and think about working on the EK. So I came up with the thought, and I was like, why didn't I think of this already? Look, I have a whole studio light. So I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Literally, I just grabbed the studio light, threw it up on the tripod, right? Here, let me flip you guys around and show you. So I took the studio light, threw it up on the tripod, and then literally lit the panel I'm gonna start working on. Now, what made a really big difference when I put this light on versus, like, you know, one of the lights from, like, my cell phone or whatever, I actually was able to see, like, more of just really just little fine marks in the clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to do the hood one more time, kind of like I was saying, you know, that's what I wanted to do, and then see how it comes out after that. And I'll show you, I'll take the light and I'll put it, like, right down with the panel. And it's why, I mean, we know it's why the professionals have, like, that specific light that they use that helps illuminate and show all, like, the fine scratches and everything like that. So anyways, I'm gonna get at it. I'm gonna do the hood hopefully just this one last time, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, you guys let me know what you think. Thanks. So what I was doing was I had a couple of fine scratches I was trying to show you guys, and I just didn't make it through them. So I was like, all right, well, either I have to go to a heavier cut, which is what we discussed, or, you know, let me try turning up the speed a little bit, which of course turns up heat, turns up everything else. You know how that goes. So I did that, and I went to about a 5.5, and I kind of worked a section just a lot slower. I didn't kind of like roll through it. I stayed in it a little longer. You know, I didn't want to build up too much heat, you know, but I wanted to build up enough because, of course, you want to smooth out that clear. You know, you want to basically, I guess, warm it up a little bit is the nicest way of saying it. But you know, you want to be able to smooth it out. So I kind of stayed in that section. I worked a smaller section and just kind of kept going back and forth. Did it that way, and I started seeing it go away. So super excited. So then I started working through a couple of the other fine scratches and working through those. And for the most part, it looks like I did get everything out. What I'll do is, in the end, if I find a couple like really small ones I miss, I'll take out the micro polisher that I have and I'll just kind of like spot hit it. But overall, the hood looks so much better. Using my studio light made such a big difference too. But yeah, overall it looks just so much better, and it took out just kind of the fine ones. So, you know, I was talking about, and I'll probably still keep that conversation in I had with you guys and just move forward to this one and kind of show both for where I was at, and then, you know, of course, the next day and kind of progressing a little further and a little deeper into it. But yeah, so I was able to get a couple more of those fine scratches out, which is cool. It's, I don't know, like, I want to say I don't want perfection and that I just want to drive it. You know, that was the conversation we were having, but it's really hard. It's really hard not to go back, especially if it's something I can fix. If it's something that's just a little too far, it's wear and tear, it's one of those things. Sure, I'm okay with that. If I can replace it, I probably will in the long run, just because that's how it goes. But I don't want this to be a show car. I don't want to be scared to drive this car. And then in the end, I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to PPF the front. I wasn't going to PPF the front, but I might as well just throw that in there. So we're going to do all the ceramic coating, do all that. That's what we're trying to get to. But then in the end, do I really want to just like PPF the front? Not the whole car, but like the front or the whole car. I don't know. I said it. Yeah, it was up here. But anyways, let me show you a little bit of this hood. I got the studio light on it, kind of flooding a little bit more light onto it. So let me flip you guys around. Let me show you a little bit. This was that one section where we had that little fine scratch that kind of ran. It was like pretty long, 6 inches or so. So that I can't actually see it anymore. So that's super cool. I had a couple, let me see if I can get this to, I had a couple like little fine scratches down through here too. And it worked those out really quick actually. And then there was a deeper one. Like there was like a little like tri-way one that was like right in this area. And if I get just the right angle, I can see just a hair of it, but literally I'm like right on the other side of my finger right here. And I don't even know if I can get it like anymore. That's how small it is. But like if I get close enough, like I can see it, but no one's gonna get that close. I mean, if you guys watch this video and you're like, oh, I want to see what he's talking about, you're gonna get like I don't know, like this 2 inches from the paint to be able to see that. So I'm not worried about that. That's what I want. So that's what I'm going to keep working towards. Like I said, every day I'll keep coming out here. I'll try and do like a little fast forward and a little skip ahead. That way we can work all this in. I don't think I want to separate all these into different videos, because it's going to be like 42 videos of just me polishing the hood. You know what I mean? But anyways, so you guys, I'm going to keep working this. Like I said, I'm going to work a panel a day, or attempt to work a panel a day. And I probably won't get the whole hood finished today, but I think I have like kind of my rhythm of how I want to do it. So that's how I'm going to keep working it. I'll probably finish the hood tomorrow, and then maybe I'll just start on the driver's side and work my way down through the driver's side. I'll do fender, door, rear quarter, and then maybe the roof, just get the roof out of the way. I don't know. It feels like kind of like a nice big panel, so maybe just work little sections of that. But anyways, we're gonna keep doing this. I'll keep kind of like checking in daily and doing a little fast forward, and it'll be like, you know, a little zippy, and then we'll talk for a minute, and I'll show you the results as I'm getting them. So you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for going through this with me, okay? I'll see you guys. We'll catch back up tomorrow. All right, thanks. All right, guys, so I think I'm finally there. I think I've polished as much as I can, done as much paint correction as I'm going to do on the car, and we're going to move on. We are finally to the point where we're going to do the ceramic coating, and I guess finish up with this portion of things. It's just as a little side note, this is really hard for me because as I look at it and the closer I get, the more I work on it, the more like really minor, and I do mean minor, imperfections I find. And I've kind of said this as I've been going along with this process. And we'll see how much of the process I keep, because what originally was supposed to be, hey, I'm going to do a panel a day every day I come home type of thing, has now turned into almost 2 months. But like I said, it's winter time, so who cares? We have time. Now, I think I've got it to the point where I'm happy enough. That like perfection part of me like starts to come in, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should work this panel a little bit more. Or, oh, hey, I found imperfection that I'm not going to be able to fix. I found on one of the rear quarters, you know, where they had done a little paint repair, and it's not perfect. You're never going to notice from 10 feet away from the car. You're never going to notice a lot of it from 3 feet away from the car, which that's kind of my goal here. So anyways, we're moving on from the paint correction at this point to ceramic coating. Now, we're doing the two-step or two-layer, I guess, is probably not really two-stage. Two-layer, I think, is the better way they describe it, of the G-Technic, the crystal serum light, and then the EXO, and this is the V5 because they keep changing and making, you know, new versions or updated versions of it. So the way it rolls on is, so if you guys have researched the like ceramic coating process and everything, you'll notice it comes in like these little clear bottles with like little clear liquid in them and everything. So same idea we did when we coated the wheels before we threw the wheels on. It's just it's made differently. It's made specifically for paint. So G-Technic's got it doesn't have to be a two-stage. You could literally just put on the crystal serum light and be done. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the two-stage with it. So if you guys either one don't know the whole ceramic coating process, you can deep dive and spend the next 2 weeks listening to everybody talk about it, everything else, what they like, what they don't like, if they like it better than wax, if they don't like it better than wax. I mean, if you really want to start that debate, you can drop it down below in the comments, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that will want to talk about it. But for the CSL, or, you know, the crystal serum light, So we've already done the paint correction process, the degreasing, all of that. We're going to do one final panel wipe with some of the IPA just to make sure. And I had already kind of did it, and it looks amazing. You know, all the dust and kind of stuff that just floats in the air all came off. The panel looks really good. I'm going to do one final wipe, and then we're going to start putting this on. You'll see me. We'll do a little time lapse. I'll show you. But basically, we lay it out. We do kind of a crosshatch pattern with like a 50-50, you know, overlay as you do it. So I'll go left to right first, then I'll go up and down, and then it has a little flash time. And basically, once it hits that time, there's like a separation of the way the fluid or the ceramic coating looks, and then you do this gentle wipe, and that levels it all off, so you don't have any high peaks and valleys in it. It talks about, you know, how it's supposed to feel, how it's supposed to, it says, forms an ultra durable, high gloss, slick to the touch, chemically bonded. So cool, right? So it's supposed to give you this layer above your clear coat or your paint clear coat. And then it says resistance to chemicals ranging from a pH 2 to a pH 12. And it says, unlike mainstream wax, I like how they do that. Resistant to higher and lower temperatures. So it says as much as negative 40 degrees or as high as 250 degrees Celsius. There's a little C there. Not Fahrenheit, I guess. But anyways, so we're going to lay this out, crosshatch pattern, wipe it off. After, we'll let it sit probably a couple hours, 2-3 hours. I'll probably go grab some food, another drink or something like that. And then after an hour or two, you're supposed to be able to throw the second coat, or I guess the top coat on it, which is the XO. So the XO, and like I said, this is the V5 version. This one, so this gives you all your like hardcore protectant and everything else, just like your wax would, right? But it's different, it's ceramic coating. So that's that. Then on top of that, then you put the XO, and the XO, the way it kind of describes it is it shows this like bonding, waterproof kind of, you know, top layer. It says offers an extreme hydrophobic function to the surface, even in the harshest condition. This says it's supposed to last between 18 and 24 months. So basically anything that hits the car shouldn't stick to it, or it'll take, you know, the gentlest of wipes, or I guess if I wait long enough, you know, a nice little spray down, and that should be all it takes to get everything off. It's water and dirt repellent, super dirt repellent surface. So no water spots, no marks, all of that kind of stuff. So we're gonna throw this on. We're gonna do this two-stage setup. We'll throw the crystal serum on first, the crystal serum light on first. You'll see me do that. I'll show you a little real time on the hood, and then maybe a little sped up on some of the other panels. Again, I want this to take, you know, a couple hours, or, you know, just the day to do, but we'll see how the day goes. And this may be, you know, I do this today and then tomorrow or the day after do the XO. We'll see. The big thing is that you just have to make sure your panels are clean, and you do that last like IPA wipe on it, just so there's nothing on it. But we're gonna get to it. I'll show you guys that. I'll show you the process. This comes with, of course, your little bottle, but this comes with a set of gloves. So you want to use gloves for this. Comes with its own applicator pad. I'll try its applicator pad and try and run it that way. This has this one is the one with the little dropper. Yeah, so it comes. You have your you have your little applicator pad, and then it has its little eyedropper. So you'll do that. You wet the surface. It says, you know, the applicator pad says to get it really like just wet, not like drenched wet, but wet. And I mean, you guys can understand that with like a little dropper. Like it's not like you're pouring it on at that point. So you'll do a handful of drops, make sure it's nice and wet, and then we'll do our crosshatch pattern. I think I might do the hood in 3 panels. I think I'm gonna do windshield wiper, the squirter onto this side, in between the squirters, and then the opposite side. I think we'll do it that way. And then depending on how it looks like its little flash time works, if it looks like I can work a panel a little further, I probably will. But after that, we'll do fenders and work our way back. I'm gonna do the bumpers last, kind of the same way I did when I was doing the paint correction. And then we'll talk about it. So let me shut up for now. You guys, as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for all your comments and everything in this process. We're getting almost done with, I guess, the winter portion over here on the East Coast. We're getting ready to move over to spring, and it'll be time to start bringing the car out. So I hope I see you guys out there. Again, if it's something that it's a meet, it's a cars and coffee, it's an event, it's you know, you're part of a crew and you guys are gonna have a barbecue or something else, you guys drop me a comment, DM me on IG. If it's something I can come out to, something that fits in my schedule, I'll try and come out. If it's something I can bring the EK out, I'll bring the EK out. If not, maybe I just come out and bring some camera gear and hang out, and you know, we'll have some fun. So you guys keep dropping those comments. Thank you, and again, thank you for all your support. Let's get at it. I'm going to show you this process. We'll start doing that, and we'll see. I'll do a summary at the end because it's really funny the way everything started with paint correction and the polishers and all of that. Between the way I started, the amount of material I was putting, the amount, like everything changed. So, and then I started getting into this flow. And then we'll talk about it. I'll show you really the only, I guess, negative out of the entire process was my front bumper. I really wasn't able to do the way I wanted to, and I'll show you guys that. There was already a little section that wasn't my fault, that kind of looked like it had a little burn through. And it's just something, it's one of those things where it had extra, it had some paint work done to it you know, whenever in the past. So I have a little section I tried to do a little further on the bumper, had a little extra burn through kind of in that same area, which I knew it was probably going to happen, but I'll show you guys that too. And then we'll talk about whether or not I should get a whole new bumper. I should just take this bumper, send it out and get painted. If I shouldn't care, which, man, it's going to be so hard. And then we'll go through the rest of the car. So maybe we'll get the big panels done today. Hood and at least roof, because the roof will probably, I'll see what my flash time is. Maybe we can do the roof in 2 sections too also, but we'll try that. All right, let's get at it. Let's have some fun. All right. All right, guys. So I guess we're gonna call that it. I think the car's at a spot where I'm good to stop. That's really hard to say. So look, here's the truth. I have a hard time not being a perfectionist. And that comes down to either the work I do or if someone else has to do the work for me, you know, past my skill set, whatever. I have a hard time without perfection, you know, not getting that full perfection. Now, again, and I cut in a couple times, you know, in between these steps. We've had a couple conversations, you know, and I keep saying that, you know, I have to remember that it's a driver. It's not a show car. I mean, all my cars are drivers, but I have this habit of, you know, trying to basically make them look like a show car. I drive the crap out of them. Like if any of you guys saw my S2000, like I got full paint done on the S2000. I had custom paint on the S2000, and I was still at the track every other weekend with it. Now I would try and throw some like, what was it, like Expel track armor on the front of it when I would go out, just to try and save the front end from all the rock chips and everything else in between the drive and, you know, whatever somebody would throw up on me, you know, that doesn't sound right, but, you know, like the rocks and the pebbles that they would throw at me, you know, as we'd go through the corners. So, but the car looked amazing, you know, even though I was driving it that hard and everything else, going to the track every other weekend. But for the EK, I'm kind of at that same point. Like, it's going to get driven every weekend, and hopefully it'll see a little track time too. But like, I still want it to look as good as I can get it, and it's hard to stop. Like, it just is. That's honest. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of close out, go over some stuff, kind of talk about it a little bit, talk about, you know, kind of the next steps and what I was thinking. And then kind of, I guess the next couple steps and where I want to keep going with this car. So I wanted to go over a couple things. To me, this was pretty funny. Like, I knew getting into this that, you know, I was going to have to, you know, get a bunch of different chemicals, get a handful of tools and everything else. But it just kept going. So, you know, like I said, the professionals that do this day to day, like, I definitely give you guys your props, because some parts I thought were easy, and then other parts I was like, man, this is going to take forever. And the progression of, from when I first started, and I started using my polishers, and then I started using my you know, cut compound and everything else, to like later on, that progression's hilarious. We'll see how much of it I keep in the video. I might just keep a couple of the initial ones so you guys can just, you know, spam those comments, because I know the first couple times, like I was putting, you know, my dots on the pad, and they were just like, instead of being like a couple little dots and like, oh, okay, let's, you know, spread the material out a little bit and let's work it. I was putting like quarter-sized globs on it, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is the right amount. And then I started working areas that, you know, like I started on the hood, and instead of like doing, I guess, like, if you cut it into 6 would probably be the best way to do it. Thirds going down the hood, and then, you know, one center line across, and doing squares that were like this big. Like, at first I wanted to do half the hood, and man, that sucked. Like, there was no way. Like, I tried like, you know, working it in, coming back across, working it, and it was dumb. Like, it was, and that's part of my learning curve, you know, for doing this. So then I started working a smaller area, still too much. And then I learned, oh, okay, I can use less and less and less. Okay, cool. Here's what I need. And you can tell as you know, you're running, you know, your polish out there, and then it starts to like thin out, and you're like, oh, okay, like I'm running out of what's on the pad. I'm running out, or I'm drying out, you know, what's actually on the hood. So the hood worked out really well as a good starting point for me, because clear and everything else was pretty thick on it. I'm using a super light cut, so I didn't have any issues with like burn through or anything like that. And I was honestly trying to take my time, because everybody I had talked to, or you know, that had reached out to me, you know, they would all warning about burn through, all warning about, you know, your heavy line, you know, where it makes almost like a 90 degree, or it has a heavy body line, you know, watching those areas and everything. And again, I used pretty much the lightest cut I could and the lightest pad I could, so I didn't really cut into the clear as much. That did take me longer, but definitely for me it was safer. So, but it was kind of funny, because like I started out with the wash process, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know, no big deal, we're gonna wash the car. And then we did the I almost had it. Oh, what was it? The word kills me every time. I could not say it the first time around. What were we talking about? Okay, so we did the pre-wash, which is I went with, you know, a handful of companies that were recommended to me. And you know, just some other stuff, doing some research. There's plenty of people that do super deep dives into it, and I watched a whole bunch of those. So I ended up doing some CarPro stuff for like the wash side, which they had their one here that's lift. It's a pre-wash, and it's a snow foam. So we did that. We did the custom little setup with the Harbor Freight bucket, or the Home Depot bucket, and the pressure washer. Actually worked pretty good. I got a little progression I'm going to show you on that, where I added a little valve on the bottom, a little like spigot on the bottom, so I don't have to drop the hose in anymore. So we'll see how that goes. When I do my next wash, I'll show you guys how that goes. The other thing was, so the descale, we use that. And then, do I have it up here? Oh, I do have it up here. Okay. Then there was the iron remover. And this one we moved over to the G-Technic, which, as you guys know, if you've been watching it, like the G-Technic stuff is kind of the company that I not bought into, because I'm not, you know, I didn't buy into them that way, but it's the products that I've been running, and I've been running most of their product line, because I found once I did the first couple, like it worked well. The cost was a decent price. I could get it relatively easy because Amazon had it, so you know, it wasn't too hard to get. I got, you know, I had like their other stuff, their Perfect Glass, there's tire dressing, like there's all sorts of stuff. Like I picked up a bunch of their stuff. I've got a couple other things coming in. This is kind of funny. Like did I just, oh, there we go, we came back. All right. So this is kind of funny, because we're all used to, you know, using, you know, your interior cleaner and everything else. I grew up using like Meguiar's and, you know, ultra high shine and everything else. And, you know, it was all in bottles like this, and you just chew through a bottle every time you wanted to do your interior. You know, it was like a quarter or a half bottle, whatever. This is part of my interior cleaner. This is a mat for the dash, okay? And like, to me, it was just really, really funny. I was like, oh, cool, let me order this stuff. I'll use this on my dash, whatever. It's not high gloss, which I wanted, you know, kind of the OEM style finish, and just to look neat and clean, right? And this came in, and I was like, where's the rest of my bottle? But it works great. Like again, it doesn't give me that super high shine or anything else, but it does clean it. It has UV protectant on it and everything else. So again, I kind of went down their line for a bunch of stuff, and so far I really like it. If I happen to go through something and I find I don't, I'll let you guys know. I think it's only fair. Or if you guys have another recommendation for me and you want me to try something else, like I actually don't mind trying it. I've got a quick detailer coming in that's specifically, again, by the G-Technic, that's set up for that it's safe for ceramic coating. So I've got that on the way in. That should be here. Another Amazon, so like 2 days. It'll be here, I think, tomorrow at this point. And that's the one I'll keep in the car, and you know, I'll have another bottle in here. That way, when I go to the meets, if I pick up any dirt or anything else on the drive, I can give it a quick wipe down. Plus, I don't know, quick wipe downs at meets I think are mandatory. Like anytime I drive to one, like I feel like I just want to do a quick wipe down. I want it to look as pristine as it can, you know, especially for meets, right? You know, you give the wheels a quick wipe down. You look up under the hood and you're like, oh, okay, is there anything? Yeah, let me give it a quick wipe down. Which reminds me, I need to clean under the hood. So you guys saw, like, I did all the surfaces again. Like here's another one. This is what I was running. There was the chemical guys. It's the no nonsense invisible super cleaner. It's good for everything. Like, it literally goes on everything. It can be diluted, I think. Again, this is, it's, I guess, the progression of where everything's going. So this one, again, is pH balanced and neutral. So like the pH balance is a new, you know, from when I first started doing this is something new. So that's the way this is. It is, you guys got to read the bottles on some of this stuff. What was this one? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Can be used full strength or diluted into a sprayable bottle. Up to 20-to-1 with distilled water is what's recommended. So again, they're trying to like make sure there's no additional chemicals or anything else. And if you guys know, that's why you don't put a standard water in your car, like in your radiator. You know, that's why you use distilled. So anyways, sorry, little side there. But yeah, so we had just the process of washing the car, which was entertaining. And then after that, we got to polishing it. Now, I did have to go through a couple pads, a couple of the larger pads, a couple of the micro pads as we went through. I ran the Kokemi, and I did the micro cut both on the pad and their micro cut. It's the M302 for it's a super high gloss, so it's like a 9 for high gloss, and the cut is super low at a 3. So it's listed as micro cut, micro polishing compound, blah blah blah. So I used 3/4 of the bottle on the car. I'm sure if I had been a little bit better with my usage at the beginning, it probably would have been a little less, maybe a half. You guys, let me know how much, for anybody that's got that experience polishing and everything, how much do you usually use? Because I'm kind of curious. Overall, my car was pretty good, and I didn't have to use a heavier cut or anything else. And then I had the IPA, not the drink, but the surface prep. So I used that bottle is really almost gone. And what I found was, even my garage door, every time I'd open the garage door, it was causing dust. So like every time I went to touch a panel, I had to wipe down that panel pretty good ahead of time. And then I guess the last thing that kind of surprised me about this whole side of things was how many different cloths you need. You know, I had always started and had like the Kirkland, right? Just regular, yellow microfiber that's good for everything. You use it on everything. This car, I started wiping off the extra compound after I was done. And not like digging, but like just a nice gentle wipe, a flip and a nice gentle wipe. And this microfiber was too scratchy, was too stiff. And it literally would give me just really, really fine micro scratches when I would use it, which was crazy, right? So again, it's one of those deep dives where you keep going in, and then I had to go through, I used, what is it? It's the rag company? Is that what it is? Yeah, the rag company. So I used a bunch of their stuff. I got a bunch of their stuff, a bunch of different rags, and I ordered just a ton of stuff from them. And I literally have like 2 drawers just full of rags, and they're all different types. They're all different. They have like a softness rating or like a thread rating that they use on these, and you know, certain ones are made for this, certain ones are made for that, and like again, super deep dive. Had to go through all of that, but they do make a difference, which is hilarious. So I've got 4 or 5 different types of microfiber type of cloths for depending on how I'm going to wipe the car down, what part I'm wiping. Am I wiping the interior? Am I wiping glass? Because that's a different one. Am I wiping down the exterior because I need it to be so soft that it won't provide micro scratches, but enough that like if I was taking compound off, that it would take the compound off. And then I have a different one for now when I'm going to use a detailer. So I don't know. It's a whole big learning curve for you guys that have done it. I'm sure you're already laughing at me and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then for everybody else that never done it and you guys want to do it, that's my word of warning for you. So we ran all that. That's all set. G-Technic again, we ran through, we talked about this. We did the ceramic coating for the wheels. This is the wheel armor, their C5 wheel armor. We did that before we mounted the tires. Got that done. We'll see how that holds up again. So I'm definitely going to follow up with you guys on all the ceramic coating stuff because, like, little bottle, you spend a good amount of money on it, and it's on white wheels. So my hope is that as I pull up to a meet, whatever brake dust or whatever else that I've got put on it, I can literally take one of my microfibers and just take it right off. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. And then of course on the track days, when you have that more aggressive pad and everything else, it wants to cake onto the wheels. So we'll see how it comes off there. So if you guys have any experience, let me know. Drop those comments. Let's talk about it. So then we did the crystal serum as the regular ceramic coating. Went through that process. You guys saw that. It's kind of funny to me that, the ceramic coats all come in these little bottles, right? So I was like, oh, okay, and I did the first panel and it didn't look like I used really any of the product inside the bottle. Like the bottle still looked full. And then like as I started getting panel to panel to panel and I started getting down to the last couple panels, I was like, oh wow, I'm almost out. And literally there's just a couple drops still left in this. So otherwise I use the entire bottle, which is pretty cool. The wheel armor one was literally exact. Like there is maybe a drop left on that for 4 wheels. So like for 4 wheels, don't do a 5th wheel because that's not going to do 5 wheels. It'll do 4. And then on top, we did the EXO, and this is the V5, so the version 5 of this. So we did the regular ceramic coating. We let that dry and set it. We came back, did the EXO. I think we did it the next day or maybe the day after. So this is the hydrophobic one. So it's supposed to be, basically nothing sticks is kind of the easiest way to describe it. So you don't get any water stick. It's supposed to be super dirt repellent. So anything that I guess kind of lays on the car will wipe off the car really easily. It is what I'm kind of finding here. Like I said, this is how I guess serious or particular or however you want to put that. Like I literally washed my garage door because every time I was opening it, like it kept dropping dust on the car. So I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. So like I went over and I literally wiped down the whole door, did like a detailer just like you would on your car for the garage door. And it did help. But you got to keep the space clean, like all the leaves, everything else. And then I found, you know, they'll do the blowers or whatever out, and it'll blow the dust up under the door. That's the worst. So we ran this. So like I said, you guys take a look at the car when I bring it out to the meets. Let me know what you think. If you guys see me, go ahead and stop me. It's like I always say hi. If you guys see me out, don't worry about it. Even if I'm recording or something, you know, if I kind of see you off on the edge, you know, or you wave, I'll finish whatever sentence I'm on, you know, whatever statement I'm making about, you know, what car I'm talking to you guys about, and I'll stop and I'll come over and talk to you and say hi. If you have a car, you know, your car there you want to talk about or whatever, just talk with me. I love talking. That's one of the best parts of going to the meets. You know, you get to see the cars. I get to bring you guys that. But like I've said in my other videos, I really enjoy like the story behind the cars. You know, it can be a brand new car to you. It can be a car that, you know, got passed on to 2 generations. You sold, you found 10 years later, you bought it back from, you know, some old lady that had it at that point. Anything like that. It's enjoyable. And if you want, you know, we can talk about maybe even doing a full interview or review on it too. I have a feeling, just because of the way things went last year, where I used to set up full interviews, I think I'm gonna end up having to do that with you guys on the location. So we'll either do it right there where you have it parked amongst the other cars. Maybe just I'll set the tripod up real quick and we'll have a conversation. Or maybe go to the end of the lot, you know, where there's a little less traffic, or, you know, it depends. Because if the interview doesn't really like to talk on camera, you know, hey, we'll go away from everybody. If you don't mind being on camera, we'll set up right there, let everybody walk past us, let everybody smile and wave, you know, and we'll have our interview and we'll talk about it. But like I said, you guys stop me, let me know. My plan is to start bringing this out. We're now into spring, so we're gonna finally, the meets are picking back up. You know, we're finally gonna start to be able to do stuff. So I'm gonna start bringing it out. You guys see me again, you know, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the car. And, you know, the plan's going to be kind of the way I do it. You know how it goes is I'm going to go to as much as I can. So I'm already adding stuff to the schedule. You guys have been DMing me and sending me things that are, you know, messaging me and going, oh, hey, what about this one? Are you going to this one? And I'm like, well, I am now, and I'll add it to the schedule. Or I'll try, because, well, at least for the next couple months, things are starting to stack up, which is great, because I can't wait to not only bring this out, but also, like, start getting back into it. I was kind of surprised that over, like, I knew there's, you know, we all know there's a down season on the East Coast, the Northeast especially. You know, there's a down season, there's the winter season. You know, you got 2-3 months, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like things will start to pick back up. I forgot like how long it takes for things to pick back up. We did, you know, Tokyo Auto Salon in January. I was like, cool. I did a ton of things, you know. So I've been putting out content and everything else, basically all the way through February of things I was doing in Japan, you know, and then like the little bit I'd get to work on this car, I'm like, cool, you know, here. And there was just nothing else. And I'm like, oh man, like, okay. And then we're into March and I'm like, all right, are we going to pick up or what? And like, just now, like I'm really starting to fill in like mid-March, end of March, into April, and then my April starts to like, the schedule really starts to pick up, which is awesome. So you guys keep sending me that stuff. I'll try and go out to as much as I can, drive around, you know, pretty much anything from, I would say, North Carolina to New York, North Carolina, like up into Massachusetts, is probably something I can add to the schedule. For you guys that are down a little further south, down into like Florida, that I'm going to have to figure out because it's more than likely going to be a flight. I probably won't drive to that. And then I like Connecticut, Massachusetts, that area, that's probably my north. If there's something north of that, you guys can let me know because I haven't found anything yet. And then if we want to go west a little bit, you know, if there's something over in like, I don't know, Kentucky or something, you know, they're definitely Tail of the Dragon. You know, Tail of the Dragon is one I missed last year, and I really wanted to go, and I just couldn't get it on my schedule. So that's something I want to do. But yeah, definitely Tail of the Dragon. If you guys know that there's a couple good things coming up, or what dates are best, just let me know. Let me know, and I'd love to see you guys. We'll bring this out. We'll have some fun with this. I still need to do my rollers. I have the whole roller kit set up for the Osmo and everything else, so we can shoot rollers. That's definitely, I'll throw cameras all over the car and we'll do some of that. If you guys want me to ride with you or something else, I'll hang out the back of the vehicle, or, you know, hang out a window and shoot some stuff. I love doing that. That's all fun. So, but you guys let me know, okay? Like I said, I think that's going to be it. You guys let me know what you thought about this whole big process. And you guys can laugh at me when you see me make mistakes and everything else. Drop comments. If you know that there's a product that's better or that you like better, drop that comment, have that discussion, and we'll keep talking about it. So that's probably it. Next steps, we're talking about brakes. Brakes are probably coming up soon. And then after that is I'll probably do some minor stuff, but I think the exterior for a couple modifications are going to come around. Okay, so if you guys lasted this long, you guys might as well hear. So rear spoiler, carbon hood, and carbon front lip are what's coming up. Not the norm on all of that stuff. I'm stepping out away from, I'll say it, I'm stepping away from like the spoon stuff. So I'm sorry if I disappointed some of you guys. It's not spoon, but it's some well-known Honda brands. Okay, I'm definitely staying with the Hondas, you know, the ones that have been around for a long time, and you know, you'll know once I put it on, and you'll be like, oh, okay, cool, you know, and we'll go from there. So I think I have a couple little minor things in the interior I'll probably do. Or like I said, I was trying to find a DC2R passenger seat, a black one with the red Recaro, to swap out for my red seat. I mean, I might put another bridge seat in there. We'll see. Like, again, it'll be one of those things where I'm like, what do I want to do next? You know, and I'll come across something, or I'll see one of you guys at a meet, and we'll talk about it. So that's probably it for interior. Exterior, we'll have that. We'll do some paint. Like I said, the front bumper, I had a little burn through on the front bumper, but the bumper itself was already doing that. So I'll paint the front bumper at the same time, which I think is really good, because it'll give me the hood, the front bumper, and you know, they'll be able to blend over into the fenders a little bit. So it should look like a perfect transition, like it's supposed to. And again, I don't want to do the whole car. Again, super tempting, but I don't want to do the whole car. No, maybe, we'll see. but we'll do that. As much as I can leave the OEM panels like OEM, I will. I said whether or not I keep it in one of the little interludes that I did, you know, I did find kind of a little something on every panel, kinda, you know, so like I think it's on this rear quarter, no, that rear quarter. There's a little minor imperfection that you can see they did some paint work. And from 10 feet away, you can't see it at all. You know, the only reason I saw it is because I'm literally working up on the panels so close. So I don't think I'll fix that unless the car ends up being like a literal show car, and then of course I will. But I'll try and keep whatever it has as OEM, you know, and not respray it unless I need to. And then for me, like the aftermarket parts, I don't mind spraying aftermarket parts because they're not what came on the car. You know what I mean? So that I don't mind. We'll see how far I go because all the rubbers are a little old on the car. I found some of them. If you guys have a good source and you wanna let the world know, drop that in the comment, or you know, at least drop me a DM if you're really down for that. I did find some of them like the rain rails or the drip rails up on the roof. I found those. Like these surrounds, they don't look bad, but I don't know, if I start going down that rabbit's hole, like I'll end up doing them all, and we'll see. But yeah, if you guys know the one big thing I need, so if any of you guys want to help me out with this, the one big thing I need is the window vents. So the little air vent that's down on the window on either side. So I have all the clips, which a bunch of people always lose the clips, but when it got shipped to me, the one side is missing. So if you guys have any stashed away, you got an extra set, you know, Honda OEM, you know, that's what I'd love to put back on it. If somebody has one, let me know. If you guys have a good source, let me know. The only place I kind of found them so far is eBay, and there's a couple out there, and you guys know how that goes. So that's kind of it. But that's the big one. If anybody wants to help me out with that, let me know. Let me know. DM me or drop a comment, and let's talk about it. But I guess that's it. You guys know I'm always rocking a little something. We got a little change in name this time. If you guys were kind of curious, still not sponsored, but you know, tastes great. You guys know the other brand I like, but just in case you were wondering, you guys can see that, right? Yeah, tastes really good. I don't know what it is about the cherry drinks I like. But anyways, all right, I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you guys out at the meets. Say hi to me, and I'm looking forward to running this around everywhere. So I'll see you guys at the next one. Thank you for everything. Thank you for hanging out to the end, and that's it.